And welcome back to another episode of the Morning Tea Marketing Misses. It's great to have you back with us again, and welcome back to 2025. If you missed our last episode, we're talking all about goal setting. And so we first of all started off with Noah Wright's chat with us about the reason why we would want to set goals and why that might be important for us to be able to start to work out the plans as to what it is that we want to do. And that leads nicely this week into Janeen's going to be the leader for us, sharing with us all about our vision, mission, and values as to how we can really start to, put some bones into our plans to sort of help make it more real so that we can then make it come true. So, Janeen, over to you.
Thank you so much, Lara. This is one of my favourite topics. It is a workshop that I run every year and have done for multiple years on goal setting and planning. And when people come along, they think it's about writing down goals, which we do eventually get to after a few hours. It's more about what it is that you want to create, because we go into business and people might be a good massage therapist, or as we are, Jan is with creating amazing web pages, Narelle's doing the digital accessibility, and Lara is business coach. We all step into businesses, they're things that we've got an expertise in, and then we work at it. And then we lose a bit of motivation, and then things go wrong, and it just really is, we sort of feel like we're against a wall. But if we've set our mission and vision very, very clear, that resonates with our values, when you hit a wall, you then can get through it, because you're not just doing a job or just working in your business. You are actually creating something that is really close to your heart, and it resonates with your values. Yeah. When I work with people and they talk about, I'm not sure how me being a coach is doing that. I can see that I'm changing people's lives, which is really cool, but it's not something that I feel is really going to change the world or whatever. It becomes a task-based thing as opposed to a creativity thing. And that's when it gets really hard and struggling, and then people lose that momentum. So what I do when I work with people is I talk about their mission. And if anyone's ever watched a Mission Impossible, they say, if you choose to accept this, and the mission will start with the word to do something. So for me, my mission statement is something along the lines of to create a world that's taken over by small business and entrepreneurs. That's my mission.
Wow.
It's out there. That's what I want to create. And that means that I want those people to be successful. So how am I going to do that? So that's a big statement, and a mission statement should be a big statement, but starting with the word to. And our vision statement is part of that journey. It's how you see that looking like. So for me to do that, I need to be able to enable people to do what they don't believe is possible. So that's my vision, is to, however I do it. For some people, it's a kick in the butt. It's another one, I hold people's hand, but I lead them into doing things that they just didn't feel they could do. They felt uncomfortable with, whether it's standing on stage as a speaker or in a sales conversation, or putting themselves out on a video in social media, whatever it is. So all of those tasks can fit underneath that. But every day, what I'm doing is helping people do something that they didn't feel comfortable doing, or they didn't believe that they could possibly achieve. So fitting in with my values. And another exercise that I do, and I know Lara has done this with me, is figure out your top 10 values or 20 values. And there'll be lots of things that you can write down quite easily, and then switch it down to 5, and then find the 2 most important things to you. The things that you cannot possibly be the person you are without that happening. And that is really a big deal. And if you're doing that every single day, living to those 2 values, then you've got an awesome life.
Yeah,
Absolutely awesome life.
yeah.
So
And you really Sorry, just to add to my experience of having done that goal setting workshop with you earlier a couple of weeks ago, Janine, is that you also get to add to experiencing business and your life in a way that feels really true for you. Like you're having a real authentic experience because it's genuinely just an extension of who you are and how you see yourself in the world and the difference that you make in the world, with your vision and your mission and your values. So yeah, just thank you.
And I know, and you said it really did make a difference how you could then write your goals, because that you can sit down and write goals. And we worked with Narelle last week that it was, I'm going to eat healthfully, or how, whatever that looks like. And I'm sure we're going to share a couple each about things that we might need to change. But without the huge why behind it. So for Narelle, there's things that you said you wanted to achieve, going to Egypt and being able to function well and be with your family for a long time. So if part of the values that you have that are so important to you is health and wellness, and which incorporates mental health, physical health, which incorporates family, well then, wow, okay, so it's not just not eating biscuits, it is about the whole thing that it's creating. So yeah, which is
it is
so important.
And it is. And I think it is such an important thing to work out. So we've got the why, and I know the whys, why I do things, but the mission, which is, the next step, it has to be the next logical step, because as you said, Mission Impossible, not that I ever saw it. We didn't get Mission Impossible in my hometown. What can I say? It was an impossible unreality for us. But it is, once you've got the why, the mission gives you your goals. What are you there for? What's your purpose? If you don't know your purpose in life, what are you doing?
Yeah, definitely. And so figuring out, and along those ways is values. I mean, with Jan, obviously, fitness is really high on your values. I mean, fitness and health and wellness is in my top 5, without a doubt. I have, from aerobic instructor to everything that I do, and it definitely sits in the top 5. And it is part of who I am, because one of my highest is new adventures, new experiences. I have to do that. I can't stagnate. Hence why I do all the travel that I do, and check out things and do a little bit of research and just put myself out. Oh yeah, I'll jump off that cliff and abseil, whatever. I'll slide down the slide, because well, I only do it once, but I'll do it because it's that adventure. So that's why fitness and health has to fit into mine as well, because you can't do that. But and the other part for me is giving knowledge and experiences and taking stuff in. I have to do that. Yeah. And it's really worse if I've had a glass of wine, I tell you. I can solve more problems of the world a couple of glasses of wine. My husband pulled me up on that a couple of years. It's great when you've got somebody that's very honest with you in your life. And I said, they don't want to hear it. I go, I can fix it for them if they just listen to me. And it wasn't arrogance. It was just, how you can see things from the outside in other people's experiences. And this is many years ago, and I went, oh, bugger it. People can pay me for it now. And that's what
Oh wow. Well, can I just add, Janeen, something else that I really got a lot of value out of when we did the workshop together is that, and you kind of hinted at it at the beginning of the episode here, where you mentioned that, it's not so much something that we want to do, when we're creating, our goals and our plans for 2025 for the year. It's being mindful of our vision, mission, and values. And there was a little exercise that you gave us that I found really useful in switching my mindset from it being like a task-oriented to-do list of working out what are my goals for 2025. And it was rather than doing goal setting with the SMART acronym, that you gave it to us, coming up with our goals through the CREATE acronym. And there's quite a difference between the two. Could you explain that for us?
Interestingly, I was on an international call last night, and there's about 30 people on board, and a lot of them were Japanese and I was asked to present this workshop, and I did that in a 30-minute workshop on create goals, and it had to have a lot more information on there because English wasn't first language for most people. The create goals are a little bit different than SMART goals, and I'll run through very quickly. The C is for clear and concise. It has to be very, very concise. It's not I want to lose weight. It's I will weigh 5 kilo less by this date. I will weigh this amount. The R is realistic. You know, if you've never swum before, swimming the English Channel next week might not be very realistic. You might have to pull that back. The E is for ecological. Now, this is a little bit different than this is what I like about the SMART goals. Meaning is it good for you? Is it good for the people around you? Is it good for the environment? It has to be sustainable to what you're doing. If you want to make $1 million and need to work 90 hours a week and you've got young children, that's definitely not sustainable to do that. The T is towards what you want. And we mentioned this last conversation with Narelle about not eating biscuits as opposed to moving towards what you want rather than away from it. The CREA, as now, sorry, I missed the A, as now. And when I get people to write their goals, I get them to go, it is now the 25th of December 2026, and I have. And then the T, as I said, is towards what you want. And that's the as now gives you that time base, but it's because they've found you get 42% better result on a goal if it's time based. But you also get 40% better from people who don't set goals before that if you write them down. So that's such an important factor as well. And the E is for evidence. What evidence do you have? So for me, you know, I wrote down one before. It is January 24, which is only a week away. And the scales are showing that I weigh the amount.
Yes.
So in a week, that's what's going to happen.
Nice.
So I don't need to be 12 months off, depending on what they are. And, you know, particularly say for a financial or something that needs to build in increments or lose in increments like weight, if that's what you want, then putting them a week apart or a month apart makes a heck of a lot more sense than saying you can have an overriding goal and then that comes back down to 90-day plans, which I also teach as well.
Breaking down the goal, isn't it?
Yeah. So I could say, you know, by June I'll weigh 10 kilo less. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I guarantee it won't. But a kilo by next
aggressive.
10
kilos. Yeah, that's it before June. In June, that's aggressive. So you know, not just breaking down the goal, but also it really has to be something that's achievable, that is sustainable, and it's not going to cause your health to decline, because to lose that kind of weight in such a quick amount of time, you're going to have to cut something, and that means that your body's not going to cope.
No.
But being realistic
cut enjoyment tuna jam. That's
but it's being the realistic. Like someone said to me, where would you like to be in 5 years' time? And of course, we're talking me, right? So I immediately thought, on a cattle property with 400 head of really good bred Brangus cattle out in the scrub, and I'd be happy. Well, that's not realistic.
No.
You've got to be realistic.
One of the things I say all the time, and I work when I run my mastermind, this is something I push out all the time. What do you want your life to look like in 10 years? So that's not necessarily a goal or what it is, but what would you like your life to look like in 10 years? So over my entire career, I have done that. What do I want my life to look like in 10 years? So now I've got to this stage in life. My husband's retired. We're financially set up. I'm running a business I absolutely love, and I can take all the time off that I want to be able to do. That wasn't created a year ago. That was 10 years ago. I thought, what do I want same as you, Narelle, but 10 years is a great time frame. What do I want to look like in 10 years? I want it to be that. So then it's all the breakdown steps to go, what do I need to do? And figure it out. But it's just this, people don't look far enough ahead to go, I'd really love it if it might be somebody's working a lot of hours a week. I'd love it if I can, you know, I've got a manager and taking over the business and then I can spend time with kids, whatever it is. But think about the distance and then break it down into the steps to get. I could talk on this for 3 or 4 hours, can't I, Lara?
Absolutely. And you know, like yes, and every minute, every second is valuable and worth it, because there's just so much that we can draw from it and use to implement and really change our lives for the better.
Yeah.
So yeah. And how are we going?
Yep, there's time. So has anyone got anything else that they would like to ask? Or I'm sure we're still talking goal setting for the next couple of conversations with Lara and Jan. So I'm sure there'll be things that we need to talk about. And one of my thing that I commit to, I don't go to the shops, so I don't buy sweets. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I know how not to do it. I just don't go shopping.
Works
very
well.
good.
I don't go to
That's
the
a good
shops.
one.
Yeah.
Good strategy.
So does
You
hubby
did-
do the shopping or you shop online?
No, hubby does the shopping.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, see, that would be our downfall if my hubby did the shopping.
It's usually his, but he's on a bit of a health kick at the moment as well. So he's not coming home with the bickies, the ginger nuts, which I don't eat nowhere else.
Yeah, but they're very, very good for you. Ginger is good for you. And that's one of the things
just
I've
all the
really got to
sugar.
do is
No, it's not.
but the ginger itself.
The ginger's good.
Lovely. Great conversation as always, ladies, and thank you for all your input and ideas from what I was able to offer. That's another conversation with the Morning Tea Marketing Missus. Remember to follow us on YouTube and to leave a comment if there's something that's really resonated with you. We'd love to hear from you. We look forward to you joining us next time and sharing this information out to people that you know that might find value in the conversation. Bye-bye for now.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.